Welcome to Legal Libations. Cheers. This is Raquel Smith. I'm here with my co-host,
Sean Williams.
And Prince Williams.
No relations.
Excuse me, I had to take a sip of my wine. And we're here with our featured guest, Miss. I'll let you introduce yourself, boo.
Yes, I am Sheila Ruffin.
Sheila Ruffin, girl. Okay, so I'm so excited to get into it with you. Not in a bad way, in a good way. You're a badass.
Oh,
please tell everyone, tell me what you've been up to, because apparently you went to Howard with Prince.
Yep.
And then you just skyrocketed and left us all behind. What's going on?
Yeah.
Well, my middle name is Nassau.
Oh, really?
No.
Your
You
middle
get it
name
skyrocket,
is
Nassau.
Yeah.
Okay. I am a graduate of Hampton University and Howard Law.
Okay.
But in addition to being an energy attorney, I am the boss of Soca Caribbean Yacht Charters. We are a yacht vacation travel agency. When you guys leave out of your rich homes on Massachusetts Avenue, we're going to have a luxury car service to come pick you up and take you to DCA. So that way, I don't want my clientele to deal with Uber or Lyft or a super shuttle. We'll handle that for you.
It's amazing.
And then when you reach the Caribbean destination, we're going to have ground transportation, that state-of-the-art yacht, or you're going to take a 6-day vacation. And we're going to include water sports, a personal chef, gourmet cuisine, premium liquor. And so everything is included.
So let me ask you this. You went to law school, right?
Correct. Yep.
Where did I go wrong?
I know. What did I do wrong with my life?
No, but seriously, okay, so you went into, how did you get into the... Tell us. Just tell me where I went wrong.
So let's talk about the legal side of me, right?
Love to.
I am an environmental energy girl. I love the water. I'm from Virginia's Eastern Shore, and I grew up around the water all of my life. And I knew that I wanted to go into environmental law because I'm a water girl. I then moved to St. Thomas, Virgin Islands after Howard Law. And that is where I became familiar with maritime tourism issues. And yachting. My mother actually told me, your sister is celebrating her 40th birthday on a cruise. And I told my mom, honey, I'm too bougie for a cruise. I deserve to be on someone's yacht. Yeah. And I could not find a yacht that was a one-stop shop. I had to do everything from planning my sightseeing and touring to ground transportation. I don't have time for that. I'm still an attorney. And then in addition to that, I could not find any people of color, African Americans, Hispanic Americans, Asian Americans that were advertised for those yacht companies. And so I decided to start my own company.
Oh my God, that's fabulous.
Do you actually go on the trips? So let's say if I was to book your yacht right now, would you actually be there to make sure everything went seamlessly, or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I was saying to finish up your question,
okay.
right? No, it depends on the client.
Okay.
I have a client coming up in July who is pretty high end.
Okay.
She wouldn't be there for you.
Oh my God. He will take his own private jet down there to the Caribbean. And so I definitely want to be there with him to make sure everything goes well.
Okay.
For you guys, I think you guys be fine. You guys are party people.
I wouldn't shoot your text. I don't have no private jet. I'm like, Sheila, we got here safely. Thank you for the accommodation.
Yeah, you guys will be fine. So
Yeah.
it depends on the client,
Okay.
And I don't want my clientele to feel like riding them, right? Like, what are you guys doing? I want them to feel free to do whatever they would like to.
You have to sacrifice sleep, apparently, because some 2-3 hours.
Yeah.
What else did you find yourself sacrificing?
Instead of sacrificing for other people, I sacrifice myself, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I'd rather, have 2 or 3 hours of sleep as opposed to not being there for a line sister or not being there for a friend.
Why do you think it was important to start this business, and how important do you think it is travel for, just minorities in general? Yeah.
I'm going to take your last question first, and then you have to remind me if I forget your other question. I did a study abroad program in South Africa while I was at Howard Law. And while walking the streets in Cape Town, an individual was in a store, and she said, "You guys are Americans." And I'm like, "How did you know that?" And she told me, "It's the way that you all walk.
Wow.
You all walk with your head held higher than any other nationality." And I would not have known that but for the fact that I traveled. Another time I went to India, and everything went wrong with that trip. I mean, my luggage got lost, flights were late, it was horrible. And right before I went to the Taj Mahal, my shoes broke.
Wow.
And I'm like, are you kidding me, God? Like, oh my gosh.
I'm like, American Airlines, get me up.
It was horrible. So we went to a store, and the guy said he had shoes. And I'm thinking, I got African-American feet. My feet are not going to fit these cute little Indian sandals. But he gave me a pair of sandals that fit. And I asked him how much money. And I'm thinking it's going to be, something astronomical, right? Because he has me over a barrel.
Right.
And he told me it was free.
Wow.
And I went to hug him because Americans, we hug a lot. And he backed up and he kept on saying, no. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Your culture is different. I didn't mean to touch you.
Yeah.
But this is how we show love here. And I would never have known about that space and his, I guess, inability to hug me, but for the fact that I traveled. And so it's very important that we get to see the world because we get to witness other people.
What are some of, so you have this goal as to you want to introduce something new to our community.
Correct.
Have you seen a change in that based on since you started?
Yeah, and we talked about this a little bit beforehand, but since I became into this public eye, being in magazines and doing podcasts, I've gotten probably about 100 people total of African-American descent or African descent, from Africans to Afro-Caribbeans to African diaspora, right? Stating that they are also in the yacht industry. They own a boating company in Chicago. They're part of a Black yacht club in Seattle, Washington. They have a fishing expedition trip in different islands. And I never knew that people would use me as inspiration for their own businesses. And so it's to be honest, it's difficult because I don't want to let people down, especially in the DMV area where the first Black yacht club was founded, of the Seafarers, right? Right down the street. And then we have the Universal Sailing Club, which is another Black yacht club in the Annapolis region. And Sean, thank you so much for coming to the United States Sailboat Show.
Yes.
I was the first time exhibitor there in Annapolis, Maryland, and probably the only Black-owned company there. And to have all of these Black captains come to me and say thank you.
That's incredible.
We appreciate you. There was maybe about 10 or 15 years ago, we didn't feel comfortable even being at this show. It's difficult because I just don't want to let down my community and the people who paved the way for me.
What is one piece of advice that you've been given that really resonated with you?
Sometimes a window is closed, and I believe in busting open a window. Do whatever you have to do to have your legal practice. I have to bust open windows in this industry because it's an industry where Black women are not a part of. Don't be afraid of not doing something that is traditional. If you want to, start a practice that has fashion design and criminal law and put it together, then do that.
We all thought that it would be a good idea to be able to kind of like display the many varied aspects of being a lawyer. And there's so many different things that we all can do with a JD degree.
Right.
And the fact that you took your love for traveling and yachting and kind of combined it together, I think is a great example of what younger attorneys can aspire to. And, like you just said, that my passion for whatever can be combined with what it is that we do. And even above and beyond that, the fact that you're in a space and you're representing Black women, I think that's very just profound, and I think it's
aspirational.
Thank you.
It's aspirational.
I appreciate that.
33 is still young, and for you to be doing what you're doing at 33 years old is truly aspirational. And so I think that we have to do a ching ching.
Yeah, we have to do a toast.
Thank you,
but
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Literally trailblazer.
Big up. So we're toasting to breaking windows.
Breaking windows.
But not glasses.
No, but not glasses.
Cheers.
Cheers, Boo.